British food, let's talk about it. So today I want to introduce to you a couple of dishes and cultures about food from England. So, like Korea and many places, we have your typical breakfast in the morning, lunchtime, afternoon tea, which are I don't think it's something that is known, but I don't know if people observe it religiously. I think it's changed over time. And then dinner, which is sometimes called supper or tea. Sometimes dinner is tea also. Keep that in mind as well. Typically between 6:30 to 8 p.m. But to be honest with you, all of these times are just suggestions. I think it's more likely people do according to their time and availability. What's your dinner time or breakfast time? Do you eat breakfast or lunch? Breakfast, as I've mentioned before, or maybe I've never mentioned before, but in England there's a popular breakfast called the traditional English breakfast, or the full English. It is made up of scrambled eggs, bacon, sausages, fried bread, no, that should be toast. Well, grilled bread, I guess, baked beans and mushrooms. You can still eat it. You can go out to the cafe and you can find this. But to be honest with you, it's more of a food that you would find in hotels or guest houses as well. And people typically would eat this on the weekend because it's quite a heavy breakfast and there's many things to make. So I don't think this is something that people eat on the regular day. Other styles of English breakfast are cereal, beans on toast. This is something a lot of people haven't tasted before or haven't tried. I'm not a fan, but I know a lot of people who are. And especially this is like a student food. Beans on toast is a student staple in England.
First, you want to get a can of baked beans. The majority of the UK uses Heinz. So you just put your beans on the hob. Honestly, the beans just cook themselves. It is so easy. Get whatever bread you want and toast it. This is so easy. Now just butter it. And then you just add the beans onto the toast. Because it's quite literally beans on toast. I like to add black pepper, bit of salt. And it must be served with either HP or tomato ketchup. HP sauce, I don't know how to describe this, but it tastes really good. Brown sauce. So we call this brown, this red. You can add extras though, like cheddar cheese, bacon and sausages. Oh my God. And yes, we eat this for breakfast.
Egg sandwiches. Anything at Greggs. Greggs is a bakery store. It's like in Korea, it's like Paris baguette or tous les jours, kind of. That's our version of that. Oatmeal, porridge. My favorite, toast with just your good old jam and butter. And my favorite jam is the Four Reserves by Bon Maman. That's just, it's a good one. It's a good one. So that's your typical breakfast. Very different from the breakfast that I've seen in Asia. All right, lunch. Typically people have sandwiches with a packet of crisp, fruit and a drink. I don't think lunch is... It really depends. I think lunch is very varied. I think in Korea, I've seen so many people have like an actual meal for lunch, but they also have an actual meal for breakfast. So sometimes I feel like the food is too much and it's like overwhelming. But in England, you can go to a convenience store and find a meal deal where it's, a packet of crisps, a sandwich of some sort with fruit, and a drink, and that is your lunch. Or people will go to a restaurant, or they will eat in the cafeteria at school. If your workplace also might have a place for you to actually eat lunch as well. But it varies. It varies on the options that you have. It varies on the money that you have. But people will definitely either buy a meal deal or they will pack their lunch from home. I think I used to pack a hot meal that you can warm in the microwave. Very common, because if you're buying lunch every day, very expensive. Dinner. Typically, dinner is considered always made up of this: a meat and 2 veggies. You definitely definitely will see a lot of gravy, and I miss gravy. Gravy is like this delicious brown liquid that you can just pour over your plate. It just goes everywhere, and it just makes everything really nice and tasty. And usually you would have like some vegetables on the side. Very different to what we have here in Korea. And very, especially in the winter time, like this season, I miss that kind of, I call it hearty food, because it's full of potatoes. It's full of just good stuff. Some other traditional meals that you might see in England are a roast dinner, which consists of like some chicken with potatoes, with the gravy poured out, with some vegetables and some Yorkshire pudding. Mostly people would eat that on a Sunday, but it depends on when people want to eat it.
Hours. This gravy boat is actually not going to be big enough. We need one each. We need one each. Roast chicken. God, I love roast chicken so much. It's hot. Stuffing. We've actually got stuffing balls as well. But I love this kind of stuffing. Roast potatoes. Oh my god, look how crispy they are. They're cooked in goose fat. Sometimes I use duck fat, they're literally the same. Loads of garlic, salt, pepper and rosemary. Unreal. I need shit tons. Potato test. Oh my god. Yorkie puds. Some honey roasted parsnips and carrots, but I hate parsnips, so I've just got a little bit of carrot. Oh, stuffing balls, but this is actually apple and rosemary stuffing balls. Normally have like sage and onion, but Ash will probably want free. My fave, creamy kale. So basically kale cooked in double cream and garlic pepper. Honestly, it's to die for. If you don't know, then get to know. Some carrots. I've actually done loads of veg today. Healthy queen. Some broccoli. Like I said, I've done loads of vegetables. Oh, yes. I actually love broccoli. With gravy. Cauliflower cheese. Look at that. Unreal. It's quite heavy though. Don't know how it's going to fit on here. Oh, I love cauli cheese. I don't always do a cauli cheese with a roast because it is like so much longer. Like making the cheese sauce, you know. But it's worth it when I do. That looks unreal. Gravy. Don't know if I've got enough. The cauli cheese is actually like pouring off the plate. Oh. Ooh. I need to make sure that Yorkie is filled with gravy. And that is my roast dinner. Wow, it's actually massive today because of the cauli cheese. It's literally pouring off. It's Sunday.
And actually, recently, most people would prefer to eat probably a curry or a rice or pasta dishes as well. They're super, super favorites of England. So in England, the types of vegetables that we can grow are potatoes, carrots, peas, cabbages, onions. Other things, a lot of the things we import from outside. So I was really surprised. Like Korea, England is quite small and it's an island, isolated by, many things. What is Korea an island? I don't know, but Korea is also kind of isolated from other parts. You need to take an airplane, unless you're in North Korea, but we don't have access that way. So I thought there would be a lot of imported food like England, but to my surprise, no. Korea doesn't import as much food as I've seen in England or in other parts of Europe, which sometimes it's sad. Tea. So this is the meal or the snack time that I mentioned before. You can still experience this. I don't think on a daily basis people do this religiously, but you can still go and experience this. Especially, I think I've definitely heard of the Ritz Hotel having an English tea time where you get to eat really cute cakes and sandwiches and drink tea and feel fancy. So definitely something to try if you are in England. It's it's a touristy thing that would work really well. But I do definitely think people drink a lot of tea in England. I think 4 cups a day. I'm not sure, but we can check. But it's about 4 cups a day. Eating out. Biggest difference between Korea and England. In Korea, if you go to eat out, I think it's 50-50. People will go and eat Korean food. They will go and eat samgyeopsal. They will go to, like, I don't know, what is it? You can go to eat like a soup place or fish place or some, I don't know, some, what other restaurants are there? Some kind of fusion place. But in England, mostly people enjoy eating ethnic food when they dine out. So number one is Indian, then you've got Italian, you've got Chinese. On the weekends or late nights on a Friday, you definitely go out and get a kebab. If you've been clubbing, you might want to grab a kebab before you go home or whatever. I don't know if it helps with the hangovers. Other foods such as, fish and chip shops or chicken and chip shops. All of these kinds of things are more popular to eat out. I rarely hear people say, I'm going to go out and eat British food. Unless it's like a special restaurant, maybe. Something like that from time to time, but not on a regular, not like I see it in Korea. So sometimes I ask myself, aren't Koreans a bit tired of eating their own food? Because you eat Korean food at home and then you go out and you eat more Korean food. Are you not tired of that? That's how I feel. How do you feel? Pubs, you're going to see pubs everywhere. These are our hofs. For Korean speakers, and they are everywhere. You definitely should go into one and experience it. You will definitely have people that literally look like they live there because it's opened from like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. sometimes even all night round. And traditionally they have different names, and almost every area has a pub that you can go into, and you can get food in there. I think I don't usually frequent pubs at all. It's not really my kind of place to hang, but I think, have I heard that the food is good? I'm not sure, but the food might be good. All right, typical British food. You definitely should try fish and chips. I haven't found a place in Korea that does like the chips correctly. I don't know about the fish. I'm not really a fish fan, but the chips, I have not found a place that does the same chip shop chips. And in England we call these chips, not fries. Chicken tikka masala is the next food that you should try if you go to England. Get yourself into an Indian. I'll try and look up to see what is the best chicken tikka masala place to go and eat, but you should definitely try this out. Bangers and mash. Mashed potato with some gravy and some sausages. Not my favorite because I don't like mashed potato, and I am very particular about the type of sausages that I like, but it's a simple food. Definitely give it a go. Definitely give it a try. I think this gravy is a little bit too light for me. I like a more brownier gravy than what they've put. They also put peas inside of it. Shepherd's pie. So it's literally a pie. At the bottom you have minced meat and mixed veg, and on top you have potatoes, and it's oven food. That's one thing about Korea that was surprising. There's not as much oven foods, and in the house you don't typically see an oven, which was really sad for me because I'm like, oven food is so easy and good, and it fills your heart and makes you feel really good. Why don't we have ovens in Korea? Bread and butter pudding, simple pudding, which is literally bread soaked in like milk and cream. Don't eat it because I do not like the texture of soggy bread or anything soggy. But you should try it. By the way, I'm a really picky eater, so don't follow my likes and dislikes. So I'm just recommending you try everything and then make your own decision. All right, scones. Definitely, I always hear people ask me, do you eat your scones with clotted cream and jam? Not really a scones fan. I think it's just something that you see in books and on TV and movies or some. I don't know where it comes from, but it's not your typical, like, not everybody eats scones all the time. But it's definitely something to try. I think it tastes really nice when it's warm. You can get some in Starbucks, but I think there's something about actually going to the country of origin and trying it there. Kebabs. I miss a good kebab, like a full kebab. In Korea, like, it's not quite it's not quite what I know it to be. It's not quite what I know it to be. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to when I go to England, is to have a nice kebab. I really miss it. I really do miss it. Alright, and I think that is all for today. I hope you liked this little video on British food. If you get to try some food in Seoul, please let me know whether you liked it or not, because I know that there's an Irish pub in Itaewon that does serve very like British food in there as well, typical fish and chips and stuff like that. I know there are some kebab places also in Itaewon and around and about. Try it, let me know if you like it, and I shall see you next time. Bye.